Well, welcome everyone to our session today. I'm Janelle Marsh, and I will be I guess you say, the MC for today, though we have several people speaking during the program. First of all, I'd like for you, if you all would mute your microphones until it's time for you to speak, that would be greatly appreciated. We all have barking dogs and different things that might interrupt us. And then, of course, could we pray, please? Dear Lord, we thank you for the gift of Cursillo. How many lives have moved closer to you because of the Cursillo weekend and the support of the fourth day? This is important work. We thank you for the opportunity to pursue your kingdom through Cursillo. We thank you for the time we get to spend in the Cursillo community among those who cherish what Cursillo has done in their lives. We ask that you be with us today as we talk about how we can help each other to maintain, enhance, and recreate the Cursillo experience. We ask that you be with us as we leave this Zoom meeting and we take these new ideas to our various Cursillo communities. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We would ask that we will have questions at the end. So we ask that you either type your questions into the chat and we will address them at the end, or at the end, if you just would use the raise your hand feature, we will get to questions during that time as well. What we hope to do today is to go through all of the resources that ECMC has for you as you approach your Cursillo activities. And we want to look at all of these resources that are available there through the website, through communication with ECMC members and the district representatives, and through the face-to-face meetings that we have, and then, of course, through our Zoom meetings. So our panel for today, first of all, is Kevin Mallon, and Kevin's going to introduce himself, and then the other members are going to introduce themselves as well. When it's their time to speak, they'll just start speaking and won't reintroduce themselves.
Kevin Mallon, I'm Vice President of ECMC. I've been involved with Cursillo since the year 2000, and I've been part of ECMC for 4 years. And I go to church at St. James Episcopal Church in Oregon, where my wife is the rector there.
Others? Sam?
Okay. I just unmuted myself. I was talking to myself. Hi, everyone. This is Sam Amire. I handle all things tech for ECMC, also for my diocese Cursillo secretaries as well. My wife, my daughter, we attend St. Benedict's Episcopal Church in Plantation, Florida. I've been with the Cursillo for 7 years and with the ECMC for 5 years now.
Janet?
Okay, I'm Janet Gendron. I spent all of my Cursillo life in the Diocese of Upper South Carolina. I now live in Fort Mill and go to St. Paul's Episcopal Church. This is my second time on the committee, and I've been involved for 34 years. I put my email address in the chat because I also have a lot of resources that our diocese uses. We have 5 or 6 different brochures and handouts, announcements that we send to church newsletters. And so if you want to get some of those materials, just email me after this and I'll put them together for you.
I'm Rose Wilson. I am the district rep for Southeast District, which would be Province 4 if you were looking at our big national Episcopal map. And I've been involved with Cursillo for 40 years and been on the EMC committee for 4. I'm a member of St. Mark's Episcopal in Brunswick, Georgia.
I'm Nina Jo Moore, and I've been involved with Cursillo for 48 years. And I have been involved with the National Committee, the ECMC, for about 44 years. The numbers there are a little wrong, but it's okay. But I'm the oldie. Actually, I was 2 when I went, so I'm just 50 now. So.
Oops.
And I'm the liaison for Episcopal Cursillo Leaders Workshops for the ECMC.
Right. And then I'm Janelle Marsh, and I'm active with the Cursillo community in my home parish at Christ Church in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and in the Diocese of Alabama. And I will be the president-elect this year of the ECMC. So if you looked at the purposes of ECMC that are on the website, there are several, but there are 3 that we're going to concentrate on today. The first is that we want to provide a connection between the Cursillo community and the movement, the Episcopal diocese and the Episcopal church. So you've got the larger Episcopal church, the diocese, and then those communities in the various dioceses. So we want constant communication, whether it is in face or emails or whatever, between those groups. The second is that will guide what we're doing today is to provide a place for you to discuss your problems. So we will have a time at the end, talk about the challenges you are encountering and ways that we think the ECMC can help you with those challenges. And the third one, and this is really we'll be concentrating on today, is we want to direct you to the resources that the ECMC already has and that are available to the Cursillo community to use. So those will be what we will be looking at. So some of you have been active with Cursillo for some time, and you remember that ECMC used to have a library of work. That library of work that was called the library, I think, has been incorporated into the documents we have on the website now. So next, let's look at how the ECMC is organized and how you all fit into that. It has a fairly traditional organization. There are a group of officers, and then there are district representatives. So each of the dioceses or each of the secretariats is served by one of those districts. The next thing, of course, you'd need to know is what district I am. So if you on the website, if you go to leadership, you will see the pictures and bios of all of those district reps. But let's look at the map that we have on the website. Sam, we're looking for the map that shows the arrow. There you go. Uh-oh. There is, and we can put it into the chat, I guess, if it's not available now, but there's a map that shows the various dioceses and how they fit into each of the districts. There are some dioceses that are split, and there are some districts that have more than one diocese, but we will get that to you when we clear up this technical error.
Yes, sorry for that. This technical, I'm not sure why loading, but we'll get it as soon as possible.
These district representatives should be a resource for you on a daily basis. Like if you are having issues about something, they're all very familiar, and you can tell just by the bios of the people on the panel, many years of experience in Cursillo. So these district representatives can tell you what we have available. They also are familiar, as Nina Jo is explaining about, I'm sorry, Janet was explaining, there are things that are going on in their particular secretariat that they will know about, or other secretariats that they can tell you where other folks have had that problem and how they've solved it. Okay, here's our map. It's a nice map of the different districts. So District 1 is the Northeast, the Northeast District, and then you can go various ones around. But I would tell you like the first thing that you should pass down to your new president and other officers. I hope that more than just presidents are involved with the resources of ECMC. There's a lot there from Palanca coordinators to lay rectors to everyone. So getting that information out to all of your lay rectors for the year and all your officers would be important. If you'd like to see what those district representatives do, you can go to the website on at the home office, the home page, and see, go from the drop down to documents for downloading and look at organization documents, and then select the ECMC district rep manual. So you scrolling down the page, and then it's right at the bottom, it's marked new. And anytime we put something on that's new, we're going to try to mark it. So just browsing through the website from time to time, I think would be very important for you. Okay, so now we're going to move now to Janet talking about the resources available through ECMC.
Okay, we have a lot of promotional videos on our one on the home page and one in the resources page. I actually, the one on the home page is Bishop Curry's video, and it's very general. It just talks about how Cursillo helps foster the Jesus movement, and it's a very short and sweet, and that's why it's on the home page. I actually put together a summary of all these videos, because the beauty of the videos is that people say there are phrases and quotes in there that you can use in promotional materials. And also one of the videos is pretty long. So if I have put my email address in the chat, and if you'd like that summary that I've got, just let me know and I'll be glad to send it to you. There's some fabulous quotes. There's some great short statements. And the good thing about these videos that are on the other resources page, not the home page, is that, in fact, Sam, you can bring that up if you want, is that it's not all focused on the weekend. There is statements about the weekend, but mostly it's focused on the fourth day reunion groups and how Cursillo builds your desire and ability to be a better member of your congregation or your parish, which is an important message, because I think we all get carried away with the weekend, and that's not where we're supposed to be. So I encourage you to look at these and ask for the summary, and I'm glad to send it to you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is some of our resources we have on the home page or on our resources page. And one of the best things to look at is the two of our trainings. One is one that Nana Joe and I did on table leading, and there's a whole lot of resources linked after that video that we have, most of them, well, some of them from my diocese, but others that help, just really are good for table leaders. Sam just passed it. If you move back a little, so you see how many, it's the table leaders training. Keep going. That one. That we have, you see, there's a lot of documents, PDFs that can help you. And the same thing is true in Sam's 30 ideas for Cursillo. One of the slides in his presentation has some resources for creating promotional videos. Sam, it's the one after that one. You see there's a little link there to presentation slides. And in those presentation slides are all the links to so many resources that it boggles your mind. I seriously suggest you look at these. There's some very good ideas about making promotional videos and how to promote your Cursillo. Then we already looked at this page, but we can go back to it. It's the documents for downloading page. We have a lot of publications, so many, and they're so beautifully written. There's so much detail there that I really encourage you download those and really read them. We give some of these out to our team members when we start a weekend team because it gives a beautiful outlook of what Cursillo is and what Cursillo doesn't need to be. You can use some of this language in your promotional brochures. The one called Our Story it's very long and it's very detailed, but it talks about how Cursillo has evolved from the beginning to what we are today. And it's got the same basic structure and time-honored method, but it's been tweaked some. And so that history is given beautifully. Then there's a trifold on the website that has some very, very good information. And as I say, our diocese and many other dioceses, I have some brochures from other ministries that are they're all a little different. Some of them are trifold, some of them are one page. And in our diocese, we make up note cards with QR codes on them for people to get to the registration or things like that. So take a serious look at these. Two of my favorites are the Cursillo Path and Building the Path. In the Cursillo Path, it gives you best practices, what a weekend, just the basics of creating a good atmosphere at a weekend. And it also gives some beautiful schedules, including a schedule for a 2-day.
We've got someone, thank you, thanks. Janet?
Sorry, Janet, I think we muted you. Can you unmute?
Muted me. I was silenced. Whew.
Yeah, there was multiple, yeah.
All right, was I talking about the Cursillo Path?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Well, that gives you best practices. It gives a beautiful, it's just a way of approaching the weekend that encourages hospitality and not details. And then there's some schedules, including a 2-day schedule, which a lot of people are looking at for all kinds of reasons. And then Building the Path talks about building a team. And it's got so many good ideas for what to do at team meetings and all of that. So I just can't encourage you enough to look at all of these. As I say, there's a balanced picture given here. It helps everyone to focus on what Cursillo does for the world and not just what happens on a weekend. So that's my section.
Okay, great. Kevin's going to talk about fourth day activities.
Am I good now? All right.
Yeah.
Actually, the page we were just at, the documents for downloading has the material on group reunion cards and Ultrea cards, floating group reunion cards, all that kind of stuff. The standard things that you would issue to people there, in Spanish and English, both there. So know that that's there. You are able to print that if you want. You can also order the materials from ECMC. We pay a little and we'll give it to you on nice cardstock. But if you want to, you just go to there and you can print it up on your own without our direction. Let's see. There are other materials there that we showed on fourth day activities as well there. All of that is valuable for holding your weekends and the after stuff. All right, let's shift to the helpful hints and best practices. Obviously, fourth day has, I think since time immemorial, keeping the fourth day going the way that we think it ought to be going and as well as we'd like it to go has been a concern. I can tell you I've read some of the early Cursillo literature and it was a concern back then as well as it is now. So if you're struggling, you're right in there with the rest of us. But there are some things that can be helpful. As you go towards the bottom of this page here, you will find that at our conference in 2023, we had discussions specifically directed toward these topics. So you will see down there the Springfield, well, let's see, the Southeast Florida fourth day renewal efforts. Something they do, they conduct a 1-day little activity to bring people together. You can take a look at that and see if that sparks some ideas. Right below that is the Springfield fourth day mini retreat. where they bring people in for an overnighter where they all gather together. They arrange some joint hospitality to put up people so they don't have to rent a hotel, and you can see how they conduct that. And if you go across the other side, the 60 Cursillo ideas in 60-minute slides, slides 5 through 17 there talk a great deal about the fourth day and ideas that you can have for promoting things there. So I really encourage you to take a look at that and see if there's something that doesn't spark things along. Just thinking in general here, you've got your standard group reunion, you can have your Zoom group reunion, your virtual group reunion, you can have a regular ultra, you can have online ultra. Sometimes people have parish ultras, sometimes people will have deaneries or convocation ultras because people don't have to travel as far. So I think that covers it for me.
Okay. Rose, excuse me, Rose will talk about sponsorship education.
Yes, I want to first say I have such pride in my sponsor that I had back in 1985 and how dedicated she was to being a friend and bringing a friend to Christ. And I want to be that example to the next people I sponsor. I hope you feel that way and that you want to help your whole diocese get better at training your sponsors to pray and listen and love so that the next graduating participants of Cursillo will want to go forth and sponsor somebody too, to keep this movement as passionate as we are about keeping it going. So it starts with being a good mentor. And we have so much under these helpful hints that was presented in 2023. From that documentation that was kept, we even have a certificate you can give to your sponsors after you've done a training. And right below there is the sponsorship workshop slides. It'll help you do it online or in person, in a parish, or in the whole diocese. And there's also so many good sponsor hints under the 60 Cursillo ideas in 60 minutes. And I noticed that if you go straight to page 24 and keep going, that's where you'll learn more specifics about sponsorship. Thank you.
And then we've already talked a bit about trying to improve the communication about Palanca so that people know about your weekends. And Kevin's going to talk about acquiring Palanca.
Yeah. So how do you find Palanca? How do you find wall Palanca from other locations? If you look at the events tab here and you go down to the bottom, you will find a listing of all of the areas where we have active Cursillo. And if you click on those, you'll be taken to a link for the email for the Palanca person in each of those secretariats. So I would suggest that you get your Palanca person very familiar with this, have them set up an email group with the addresses from all these folks, and just say, we're having a weekend. We would love to get Palanca from you. You should also know about the prayervigils.org website, which is a place where you can list your weekend for prayer vigils and also be able to get Palanca, some wall Palanca there. Although I will tell you that recently when I've gone there, it has not been easy to get all the wall Palanca you'd want. Okay, so that's the one there. The other one I tell you about is there is a private Facebook group called the number 3 -de Palanca and Agape. Have your Palanca person request to join that group, and they also have a great deal of wall Palanca available to you. And as we got listed there, be sure you list your weekend on our website there in addition to prayervigils.net. Because then other other people, other Polanca people will know that you're having a weekend and can send you things there. Okay.
Okay.
I think that does it for me.
I think. And then Kevin, you were going to talk about resources for the weekend?
So many people wonder about how do I get crosses or cards? We have a tab right here, crosses and cards. So you can click on that. We got the two standard sort of metal crosses that people may be very familiar with, and they're available through us. We've also added in two wooden crosses that are available to you. The larger one is about 3 by 5 in dimensions. So it's a large cross. We don't provide the chains, but you can provide those with them. So if you'd like to order through us on that, we're not making a profit, I don't believe, so we're pretty much at cost. And on the documents for downloading, that also has the group reunion card, the Christ is Counting on You, My Rule of Life. Those cards are available for purchase, $24 for a package of 24 of them. So all that stuff is available kind of at one shot there.
Nana Jo will talk about Cursillo leadership.
If she can find, get the cursor to go on her mute button. The main thing that, the main point I want to make is that we are here to help, and that means all of us. And so if you go back to the Meet the Leadership page, you'll see that all those pictures down below, our contact information is there. There's a little envelope. You just click on that and you can contact one of us, either, you know, anybody in the leadership. And there are the regions, and then down below is Sam or our Sam and me. We are at large, and mine is I'm the coordinator for ECLW. So if you decide that that's a route you want to go, first of all, your district representatives can help you in all kinds of ways. They can answer questions. They can send you to somebody else if they don't have the answer to the questions. And so that should be one of the routes that you might use for this. And Janelle's going to talk more about the financial end of it, but even down to there being some financial help available for you, especially in the leadership area, from putting on an ECLW to getting people to the conference, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. An ECLW is simply a workshop that's designed to help you know how to lead your diocesan ministry. So, and we have several different models that you might use. We might come in and do a 2-day or a 1-day, let you choose the topics that you want covered. And so we have changed, those of you who've been active for a while, we've changed that model in the past couple of years. So, there's a form that you can fill out that, and I've forgotten which page it's on. The helpful hints and best practices, I believe it's down at the bottom. There's a form that you can fill out right underneath leadership, right down there at the bottom, download and complete the assistance form. So that's available for you. And when that opens, it's got a list of different things at the top of it that you might need help with, that if you're not sure who to ask, then we will send it to the person that needs to be asked. And then the last thing I want to mention is it's extremely important to consider the national conference, because that is taking place in October. And this is where this is on the main page in the home right now. But when you want to look at it, you see it's October 29th through November 1st. It's just outside of St. Louis. But I will tell you that that's the information that you get at one of those conferences is so important to your ministries. So if you click on the details there, it will give you a whole bunch of information about it. It will answer questions. It has some FAQs. It's got some, it tells you about what's going to go on for those 3 days of the conference. And then the one thing that I don't think is up there yet, it wasn't the other night when we were talking, but the different workshops that exist. We're going to have some about the fourth day, about energizing your fourth day, which some of you all have already mentioned in the chat. And also going to talk about what we call sacred cows of different organizations, and talk about the possibility of, a lot of people are saying that 3 days is too long. So the concept of a 2-day weekend, which there are a number of dioceses in the country that are doing that now. Endowment support, financial support, which Janelle's going to address here in just a couple minutes. Other different types of studying of the actual ministry and how to have a more effective and better ministry in your diocese. So you might want to consider going to that conference. I will tell you, the whole reason I'm active almost 50 years later is I went to the conference after, I think I've been active in Cursillo for about 2 years, and here I am almost 50 years later. So the conference is extremely important. So, and bring people with you. Okay.
I'd like to talk just a little bit about how ECMC can help you financially. If you have a specific task that you want to participate in or want to create in your group, to both, whether it's to enhance recruitment or whether it's to talk about fourth day experiences, you can ask for ECMC grants. And so if you go to Helpful Hints and Practices, and then scroll down to Leadership, then there is at the bottom of that, as Nana just said, that assistance form there. And so if you have a specific task that you want the ECMC to help you with financially, it can't be something general like help us with our budget. But if there's something specific that you want to participate in, that would be the place to ask. And your district representative can help you with that as well. All those district representatives know about what we're looking for there and how to get those grants. The other place that there is financial assistance is in attending the national convention. So if you go to the national convention part and then go to details, there are some frequently asked questions. And one of those has to do with scholarships. Are there scholarships available to assist participation? Yes, they are available, and there is a form there. It is very simple. There's nothing difficult about that. The only thing is that we do ask that you have your secretariat's approval to ask for assistance from ECMC. I don't think it will cover your whole all of your expenses there, but it surely could help. And if you with some help, if you could be able to come, I think ECMC would be open to hearing from you. So be sure to spread the word about that to anyone you think from your secretariat who could attend the national conference. This has been a whirlwind kind of tour, though there are places of the website we did not examine just because we wanted to limit our time to 45 minutes, and we are just about right on the button of going through some of the website. And I know it's like trying to drink out of a fire hose. You may need to go back and rethink some of the things we've said. You may need to go through the website again and again to see what is there. But our purpose today was to expose you to all those resources that are available through ECMC and through your district representative. And we think that person is kind of the essential link between the secretariats and the ECMC. There are Zoom opportunities throughout the year. We try to do several Zoom programs. Sometimes they're called leadership roundtables. And at those, generally, we are just talking about one after another questions that people have raised. Other times they are subject specific, like the one today on resources. So you be sure that you, not only that you come to those, but get other people on your secretariat to be involved with them. And it's, every time you change officers in the secretariat, you have re-education to do. So please always keep the ECMC information at the front of when you're passing on your officer duties. The next Zoom program that we are doing will be a leadership roundtable, and it will be on Saturday, July the 26th, Saturday, July 26th, again at 12 o'clock Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then we will have even more posted about that as the day and future days. Okay, so that was that is our program for today, but now we'd like to address questions that people have. Sam, do you want to read out one of the questions from the chat?
Absolutely, if I can unmute myself.
Okay.
All right, so the first question, it seems that Cursillo functions on a sense wave and why things are in the low side of that wave. How do we really get everyone excited about Cursillo? Suggestion, as bring the database for every group weekends or events for everyone to be able to use.
Okay. I think we probably need to provide a little more information about what other people are doing, and we have had in some areas of the country revival of Cursillo. So while we've lost some groups, then we have had some re-energized as well. But I think kind of learning what everybody's doing would be valuable, and what you had in your, if you read your last, it used to be called news and notes. I'm not sure what it's called anymore, but if you, the last document that you,
newsletter.
yeah, the newsletter, if you saw that, you saw what was happening in the West. And we have something like that every time ECMC meets, that we look at what area of the country is doing. So we have a feel of that, and perhaps it is good for us to let you know what is going on, and we'll try to get that to you. Would other people like to chime in about what they are doing to try to revive their Cursillo interest? I honestly think, the rector of a parish is the key to all this. And so I would suggest to each secretariat to make a list of all of the rectors of parishes in your diocese, see who's gone to Cursillo, see who has not gone to Cursillo, and make a personal visit to visit each of those and priest and ask about that priest going to Cursillo. And I will tell you that I think that different secretariats are open to having, sometimes priests don't want to go to a Cursillo in their diocese, in their in their diocese. So other dioceses are open to having priests. I know in Alabama, we've had many priests from other areas come and participate in Cursillo here. And we've sent other priests to other dioceses. They just felt more comfortable going outside the diocese for their weekends. Janet?
Janelle, I have something to add to that. Not too long ago, it's been quite a few, 5 or 10 years, in Upper South Carolina, we just decided that we wouldn't require priests to come to a Cursillo as a candidate, but that we could have someone who had been to Cursillo serve on a team, not as usually the head spiritual director, but mentored by other experienced directors. And we've gotten a lot more priests involved in that way, because some were not comfortable going to another diocese or coming as a candidate. And it's worked very, very well. And of course, we target churches that haven't been involved, and also smaller churches from around the diocese. And it's been very open and very much appreciated. And our bishop is very happy with this approach.
And I will say, if your bishop is not one who has supported Cursillo, again, a personal visit to the bishop, I think, is very important. And don't be shy about it either. Okay, I see that Ricardo has raised his hand.
Yeah. So my diocese does not have an active Cursillo ministry, and my diocese and my parish is also currently without a rector. So what do I do?
Which diocese are you from?
Yes.
I'm from the Diocese of Newark, which is northern New Jersey.
You start with your bishop. You know, if it doesn't exist in your diocese, I mean, you could, if you had a priest, you could start with the priest and then ask the priest to talk to the bishop. But it's a case of a bishop has to be on board if it's going to exist, and they don't have to necessarily. It's not their ministry. I mean, we have a bishop here who supports the movement, but the ministry, but is not active as a cursista. And that's fine as long, but they need to know what's going on in their diocese. So, in my opinion, and the position that we've always taken at the national level is that the bishop has to at least know about it. So, since you don't have a rector, I'd start with the bishop. Just make an appointment and go talk to him or her about it.
Sydney Sneed raised the issue of whether a priest should identify themselves during a weekend. And I think there's a mix of opinion about that. And I would just always go back to what the priest wants to do, whether they want to attend anonymously or they want to go ahead and be identified as a priest. But we go by what that priest wants to do. We don't have a particular rule. Do others have thoughts about that?
I have a couple thoughts. We encourage priests not to be secret. And then if they really still want to be, that's okay. But we just think that transparency is important. And so the discussion is had, but the encouragement is just be who you are.
But I will say again, if you have a priest who says, I would like to go to Cursillo, but I don't know that I want to do it in my own diocese, I think you can contact any diocese, and I would hope that they would be open to having your priest go there. Other questions? Sam, did you have another one?
Yeah, so sorry, the initial question was from Sydney Sneed. I didn't mention that. The next question is from Pamela Wakefield. Sorry if I'm not spelling it, pronouncing it correctly, but that's sorry about that. I apologize. My biggest challenge as a new Pelancashire is learning to use the events portion of the website. There was no confirmation that the spring weekend I entered was approved, and I never found it until after our weekend. I would love for events to show
Chronologically?
I have problem. Yeah, I always have problem.
Chronologically?
Yeah, for when they will happen to help us keep us with the Palanca sent to find upcoming weekends to help connect potential crucistas. All right, let me handle this. All right, so the first and foremost, when you're trying to enter an event, of course, you're gonna go to the events page over here. And if I can get it, yeah. And you're gonna submit your event here. Let me just go, quickly through that form. Anything with a red asterisk is mandatory. So you need to enter all these fields, right, with an asterisk. They're straightforward: email, event title, event type, event category, online event, yes or no, zip code, event location. That would be the address of the location, event country, which is It could be United States, and we have also from the Bahamas and from different districts as well. And if you have a banner, if you already have a banner for your weekend, you can also upload that by choosing the file from wherever it's located on your computer. Start date, start time, and date, end time. Enable, I'm going to take this out. I'm not sure how it came in. Enable health guidelines. I'm not sure where that came from. Other additional health guidelines, I'm not sure where that came from. I guess they did an update and it entered that by default. The rest of the stuff, I'll organize it. Organizer details. It would be the diocese of, right? Not the person. The diocese of. The venue details would be the name of the venue. Why do we need that information? It's very helpful for other Cursillos from different dioceses to kind of like look, at, okay, so the Diocese of Colorado, they meet usually at this place. You can take a look, a visit to their location website and so forth. It's nice to have an idea from one diocese to another. Once you do that, all you have to do is review and submit. There's nothing else to do. Once you submit the information, it's gonna come to us. We're gonna look at all the information. We're gonna basically clear up whatever it is. We're gonna add whatever it is that needed. If you missed one of the information or what have you, and then we submit. We publish that. Once we publish that, it's gonna come down over here. Now the order is based on the date. The date. So the next event after today's event would be June 26th, and this is for Eureka, California, Cursillo. After that, we have July 17, Diocese of Southeast of Florida, Men's Cursillo, and as you see, it goes down based on the date. Now, if you want to reorganize anything the way you want it, you have filters over here. You can use any of these filters, choose event type, choose an event category, choose that, you can put in the location, keywords, whatever it is, it's right over here. You can also change the look from widgets or blocks to lists.
Great.
Do your thing.
Right. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
I have another thing to add. Stop right there, Sam. You see, join our newsletter, that red link.
Yes.
On the homepage. Our newsletter comes out every other month, and the upcoming weekends are listed in the newsletter, and also the summary of the latest district rep report. So that's a condensed way to get what's the latest information. I encourage you to do that.
This is Pam. I'm the one
Do your
that
thing.
put in the note.
That you
Uh,
keep up with everything.
But
Don't be a stranger.
Shelley, then we've got, Shelley, if you could mute, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all
Let's
right.
see. Wait a minute. I'm
And
on
then-
my phone, so I'm just like,
Sure. And then Pam, I know you have you had raised a question.
Right. So the one thing that after our weekend, because I did not see it in the list, even though I had entered it, I clicked on another weekend to get more details so I could send Wall Palanca to them. And when I clicked the button on their thing that said Cursillo weekend, it opened up another page and more events were there. And that's when I saw ours, but ours had already happened. So I don't know if it was just a glitch this spring, So now when I've entered our fall weekend, I now have more information to add, but none of our location or organizer information was saved. So maybe I need a little hands-on one-on-one to make sure I'm doing this correctly.
Absolutely. You can send an email to admin at Episcopal Cursillo ministry.org and ask for some help, and we can contact you and help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And then Shelley, you had your hand raised?
No, I was
No.
trying to mute myself and I can't make it
Okay.
mute myself,
All right.
but my noise went away, so I'll be quiet.
Okay. Sam, do you have another question on the chat?
Yes, there's another question from Sydney Sneed. The fourth day grouping seems to be the hardest thing to get going, especially in the rural areas. Can we have some suggestions on how to light the fires again?
Let me jump in here real quick. As I mentioned before, it is a perennial problem and it's a widespread problem. One of the things that sometimes people do is invite a candidate or their pilgrim to join their fourth day group before they've attended a weekend. And that just to sort of get them into the swing of things. And then they already have a group to jump into. I've seen other people say one of their goals is that before they leave the weekend that somebody attends is to make sure they get hooked up with a group to start off with. Sometimes that may be with other people who've been at their table. And I think this is something that we might address by the rector or rectora during a weekend to say, let's have a plan for you to be going to meet with somebody before you walk out of here today and not leave it up. I've not tried that, but it sounds like a better idea than leaving it up to afterwards. So those were a couple of things that came to my mind there.
I'd refer back to what Rose talked about with sponsorship also. You know, the more education you can give to your sponsors, the more likely you're going to have folks attending Ultreas and becoming part of a group reunion. And I think Kevin just hit the nail on the head. Have people become a part of a group before they go to the weekend. That seems to be one of the things, at least in our area, that has worked the best because they understand it. They're not sitting there when they hear the talks on the weekend trying to figure out what it is. They already know what it is. So
I will tell you, we've recently made a concerted effort in our parish to have people who've gone to Cursillo be a part of a reunion group. And I mean, it took some doing, but just making a list of all the people in the parish who've been to Cursillo and what reunion group they're in, and then getting kind of a master copy of what reunion groups exist and who's open to having new people. So it's some doing to do, some work to get it done, but that was very helpful. And then contacting those people who aren't in a group and saying, why aren't you in a group? And we picked up, I think, 6 people, and we're not talking about, it's our parish, picked up 6 people who had not been going to a reunion that are now very happy in a reunion group. 2 of those joined reunion groups that already existed, but the other 4 were part of 2 reunion groups that we created. And I think that the reunion group is such an important part of the 4th day that it does take some work, but I think one woman said, "Oh, I haven't been in a reunion group for the last 20 years," or something like that. Like when her children were little, she couldn't fit it into her schedule, and now they're grown. But just that someone asked her, "Do you want to help you find a reunion group?" And she was very open to that. And then creating new reunion groups.
Oh, we started something on our website that we highlight in our newsletter when a new one comes out, and it's called My Fourth Day Story. And I kind of took this idea from, I think, the Methodists. And we have some examples of reunion groups and fourth day activities that are sometimes a little different. One was a Zoom group during COVID, and we didn't even meet each other in person for 3.5 years. And then we finally did. And then others are just, it's just different ways of doing reunion groups and other fourth day activities. We have a couple people who go visit other churches to encourage reunion groups and Cursillo. I mean, they of course make an appointment and let the priest know. So there's a lot of outreach going on, different methods.
I'll toss in one more idea that I stole from San Francisco, San Mateo. Within 2 weeks of a weekend, they will have meetings kind of throughout the diocese at I think 5 different churches where members of existing group reunions will show up there and sort of say, hey, you know, we're available if you'd like to come join us. This is where we are. This is where we meet. So they don't have to travel, you know, necessarily a super long distance to find the group. It may be something that's more local that they would be able to more easily access. That I thought was an interesting idea, especially for, you know, places where there are big territories.
Other ideas about fourth day? All right, Sam, do you have another question from the chat room?
Yeah, there's one question I think already Kevin answered that. That's from Deacon Elvira Biracusia. I think that's answered by Kevin.
Actually, I did not answer. Somehow
Did not?
Janet came in under my name.
All right.
So
Okay.
I had to
So
changed her name, but Janet, do you want to say something about
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but a lot of those answers were things that I put in, and it says I'm Kevin, which is
okay.
But it all corrected when you fixed it, though. It all has your name now.
Okay. So all right. So that's fine. So we'll go to Ricardo Rojas. So I know palanca means leverage in Spanish, but what's the context here?
What's the question? What is the?
So what's the context here for palanca?
Oh,
Janet answered that
Oh yeah,
underneath
I
that.
see that. Yeah.
But yeah. But I don't know, does Ricardo, do you need more than that answer?
Oh, good. Thank you.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
Because we'll give you more.
All right, let's see.
I think Kathleen has a question that hasn't been
Kathleen?
answered.
Yeah, Kathleen Johnson, sorry. Our bishop in Montana is very much in support of Cursillo, but our secretariat is having problems getting folks to join a fourth day group. If they cannot bother to join a Zoom group every other week, we are skeptical about folks joining team meetings. It's very frustrating. We have a good list of candidates and potential spiritual directors, and we have potential help from other groups for team members. Our bishop wants us to hold a Cursillo this fall. I'm not sure we can get ready for that fast. Out camp is available way too soon, or October, which would conflict with our annual convention and the National Cursillo Convention.
Kevin, I think you've talked to this group about some ideas for this situation. We knew this was going on, and some folks had some ideas of others to recruit. I would think that you probably could get a couple of people if your group meetings are by Zoom. You could get a couple people that are nearby to serve on your leadership team. Um, I, we have it as a rule that you have to be in a reunion group before you can be staff. I'm not sure that, I mean, other people may not have that rule or think that it's very important, but I see your skepticism about if they can't plan to be there for a reunion group, will they be there for the leadership meetings? Kevin, do you want to repeat some of the advice you gave them the last time, or what Janet, Donna Jo, this
Yeah, I
came up
was there.
before? Yeah.
When Kathleen, when we met with you, what, couple months back, I think you're smart to just ask the bishop to be patient, that it doesn't happen overnight. And I agree that August is a bit soon. And then you have the issues of October. But don't forget, that day we met, we told you there are a whole bunch of us out here that are more than willing to come out there and help you all. And I'm kind of, I see it both ways. I see the importance of people being on a team who are in a group reunion. But when you're trying to restart and to get things going, you might want to think in terms of, we'll let that slide for right now. But your issue about attending, if they can't attend a group reunion, can they attend a team meeting? That's something you have to weigh, I think, differently than that. But I would say that if you have people that are willing to serve on the team and they're not in a group reunion, let it slide as far as your rules go. For now, that would be my suggestion.
I just to weigh in a little bit, I think you might be surprised at how many people would actually, if you ask them on the phone or in person to be part of a team, that they would say yes. Once upon a time, you read this, we had a booklet called Personal Contact Technique. The older I get and the more I am around this, I think speaking with somebody may be the best way to make things happen. If you email people, it's easy to blow it off. If you text people, it's also easy to blow it off. If you actually speak with somebody and ask them, hey, we're putting a team together. Would you be a part of it? You may be surprised that you get people who say, yes, I will do that. You can think about different models for how the team meets and how often they meet. And I led a weekend where we had some meetings via Zoom. And how many team meetings you have, that may be something you look at hard to see what kind of difficulty, because it's a big place. You'd be drawing people from all over there.
I have to chime in on the personal contact. Number one, because I wrote the booklet. But number two, my real life is I'm a communication professor. And so that whole personal contact is the bottom line of this whole ministry. So
I noticed in the chat, she says they're planning to do a 2-day weekend, which I think that the simpler you can keep things, the better. And we here in Upper South Carolina don't encourage large staffs at all.
right.
Because if you have the pure weekend, you don't have all that extra stuff. I mean, a lot of those surprises are wonderful, but you don't clutter it up with a lot of stuff that people have to do. So our staffs are really pretty small compared to other places, I think. But we think that there's a beauty in that. And I've done a 2-day weekend. It was in Ecuador, and it was simple. It was beautiful. It was very, very powerful. And it cut out some things that are cherished, but the message was still there. So the simpler you can keep things, the better.
Janet, could you tell us how many people on staff you had for that 2-day weekend?
I think 15.
Okay.
That's good size.
Are there other people who've had 2-day weekends, and tell us their staff size?
I haven't had one, but I did an ECLW in Diocese of Central Florida 2 summers ago, and they do a 2-day weekend, and they have, I want to say, right around that 15 to 18 on the staff. So I think a lot of places have gone to where they're trying not to overwhelm the participants, the pilgrims, candidates, whatever. When you have 30 people on a team and you only have 15 participants, it's a bit overwhelming for the actual participants. So, but that's about the size of the Central Florida one. So it's about probably 15 to 18. William had signed up. I wish he was here because he's the one that filled me in on all their 2-day stuff. So
Is there anyone else who wants to speak to this issue of what we see that Montana is trying to do, or to the 2-day weekend? Okay, I said that Audrey has raised her hand.
Yes, I have my hand raised. I want to speak to the 2-day, which we did soon after COVID, and everybody they don't want to do it again. And I can give you right offhand what all they said. I know they tried to put in everything, but listening now to Nina or whoever was talking just now, we have to give up some of those things that we cherished. And I think what we did was try to put in all those things, and it was overwhelming. And I guess because of that, they're saying no, they don't want to do the 2-day. But I understand. I understand when you say do not do all the things that we probably did in the past, and to keep it simple. And so that's probably something I can take back whenever we meet. But my other question is, I noticed with the Palanca listing, the Bahamas is not there. I know we always came under Southeast Florida. But I'm just wondering, I see Carol Gibbs is the person, but I've been on the Secretariat for years, but I've never heard in Secretariat meetings that we made a connection with Southeast Florida, or Southeast Florida made a connection with us. And so I'm just wondering, if Carol, we can reach out. Well, I'm not the lay director, sorry. I'm just a small fry. But I can definitely speak to him, because I just sent him a note just now. But I was just wondering whether, what is it that Carol would be saying to us, or what is it that we are to say to Carol to make us feel like we are included in Southeast Florida's whatever district, region, or whatever it is.
I'm also part of the Southeast District, and I'd love to help you. Tell me again your name, and can you put in the chat your email so we can communicate and figure out what we're going to do to better assist the Bahamas.
Now, Godfrey Arthur is our lay director at the moment. His term finishes in November, and the assistant, I think, is taking over, and she would have asked me to serve as assistant lay director. So at the moment, I'm on the Secretariat, but I was appointed to look into outreach. So I do all of the persons who have deaths, the grief and the sick. We provide cards with a little small token. So that's my role on the Secretariat right now. But hopefully in November, I may be a elected member. But I can give you my email address and what's not.
That'd be awesome. So we can at least be in communication. I want to help you the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
I think technically, Audrey, the reason you may not be listed there is because you're not one of the part of a diocese in the Episcopal Church.
Ah, okay.
Your affiliation, I'm guessing, is probably with the Church of England.
Anglican, yeah.
Anglican, yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But I also know that we've had contact with you guys, so maybe we should adopt you.
When we started some 40 years ago, those first members they did their weekend in Southeast Florida.
Mhm.
I don't know, you may be familiar with Rodney Williams. A couple of them, a number of them would have done their weekends there. And so they always refer to it. Our spiritual director, Sebastian Campbell, Canon Sebastian Campbell, he would have done his weekend in Southeast Florida. And then once they got their footing, I guess, got it down packed, then we began our weekends in the Bahamas.
But they have always been a part of the Southeast region. Whenever you saw the list, it listed the Episcopal ones and it had the Bahamas. So
Okay.
it's always been a part of the Southeast region, not Southeast Florida, Southeast region.
Southeast, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Audrey, could you give us, do you guys have someone who's in charge of Palanca there that you can give Sam that email address so he can
yes.
list you guys?
And I'm thinking she's been talking to somebody because we had a weekend, we had a men's weekend just about 2 weeks ago. And I know we got International Palanca.
Oh,
Her
great.
name
Okay.
is Inga Saunders.
Okay.
And she must be connected with somebody.
Okay. Okay. Well, great. Good. Then and we'll get we can get the Bahamas listed under the Palanca Angels there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I know we're out of time. We're beyond where we were supposed to be. Is anything else, any closing comments for the good of the order before we, and Pam says she sent Palanca to the Bahamas this year.
I see that.
Anything else for the good of the order before we close? Okay, we'll close with a short prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for our time together. We give you thanks, Almighty God, for all the benefits you have given us, you who live and reign forever and ever. Amen. Thank you so much, guys. And there, remember, on July the 26th it will be a leadership roundtable.
And see you in St. Louis.
Yes.
Or right outside St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can take just 5 minutes after this Zoom, there will be a survey. Just if you can take just 5 minutes and fill it out for us, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Sam, should we be waiting for something to show up on our screen?
No, it's coming by
It's
email.
an email. It's an email.
Once you leave the Zoom meeting, you would receive that.
I'm looking for.
You're not gonna see it. Yeah.
I just want to say that I was going to hold on to say thank you very much. I think people got a lot of good information. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sam.
Thank you. You did a great job organizing, Janelle.
Thanks.
Yeah, you did.
Sam,
Nice
thanks for
job.
all getting it all going. The
It's
flowing.
All
good.
right.
You done good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Have a
Well,
wonderful day.
There you go. I'm going.
we'll have
I'm
our,
just trying to save all the
Okay.
stuff. Thanks.
okay.